Well, at first it felt like a weight, like a burden, you know. I felt like being a champion was like a public service and you had to be everything to everyone. And then I came back. I was so done fighting after that loss. I'd had so many concussions, you know. I literally couldn't take a jab without getting a concussion at that point. Every time you get a concussion, it's easier for you to get the next. And I'd spent, you know, of my decade-long judo career, more times experiencing concussion symptoms than not. And so I got to the point where, like, I just neurologically wasn't fit to fight anymore. I'd given everything that I had had, and until my body and mind started to fall apart. And when I couldn't give anything anymore, like, they hated me for it.
But you couldn't even tell them why.
I couldn't because, well, first I felt like I had to come back for another fight because I felt like I owed it to the fans, right? And everyone that had believed in me. Maybe I needed to give them an example of overcoming adversity. But it was to the point where the next fight, the first time I got touched, I was out on my feet. You know, and it was so hard because I'd never been faster, never been stronger, never had a better grasp of the game. I'd never been so much better than everybody else. But you know, your brain doesn't callous. It doesn't heal back stronger after a break. It's just an inevitable decline. And I just couldn't keep fighting at a level anymore. I'd taken punishment and taking punishment until I couldn't take it anymore. And then when I got to the point that I couldn't take it anymore, then I was like vilified as like, oh, she was all hype and she was just lucky, and she, you know, and people making all these judgments about me in a fight where I was literally, my first loss, I was not, like, my mouth guard was bad. I literally came into that fight concussed from slipping down some stairs already after all these years of, you know, concussions. And then I had absolutely terrible weight cut, which, you know, that means you have less fluid in your brain to protect it. And I was out on my feet for the entire fight. I was just trying to make it look like I wasn't hurt, like
the shit.
But I wasn't there cognitively. I couldn't think as fast. I couldn't judge distance. And just from that one fight, everybody felt like, oh, she's a fraud. And I know that, like, I'm the greatest fighter that has ever lived, but
it's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No. Not this time.
She tagged her. She tagged her again. She hurt her. Nunes with a big right hand, Mike, and again, she hurt her again. Ronda's in trouble. She's in trouble, Mike. Over the top. Big trouble. Can't she finish it right here, right now? She shot her to the body. Ronda is in big trouble, Mike. Nunes' hands are down, and she's walking Ronda down. She tagged her again. Over and over. Amanda Nunes. Big combination. It's in. It's in. It's over.
Fuck up. Know your fucking place, trash.
Ronda Rousey, our main event for the bantamweight belt. Wow, no touch. Ronda did not touch gloves.
Oh, beautiful step in left. But Ronda's got the clinch for it, and she's got a hold of Holly's head. Got it. Took her down. Side kick. Again with that left hand. She's tagging Ronda. Wow. This is incredible. Beautiful. Beautiful. She's hurt.
Ronda's in trouble.
She's hurt.
Holly looking to finish.
She's out.
Holly Holm is the new UFC bantamweight champion.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Back of the fucking queue.
Fair enough.
Don't give a fuck.
Come on, you bitch! You scared coward! You got man enough to fuck with me!
Maybe this guy is. What a loser. What a dweeb. What goes on in this show by.
What an ego-inflated, egotistic a-hole, aka Ronda Rousey. So once again, let's talk about the lies in this pathetic podcast where this woman obviously goes, I will coddle you and I will say nothing controversial to you. Because guess what? I want to sniff your butthole. And obviously, whatever you do on this podcast, I will allow it. What a weak, spineless person that's interviewing. I don't care what the fuck you do for anything. But you're a pathetic person to not call out someone on their bullshit. Let's be clear honest. Number one, when you came in the UFC game, guess what? You were the number one prospect. Guess what? Dana White said, I'm not in the women's fighting business. I'm in the Ronda Rousey's business. And yes, you were successful. You did amazing things. From 2011 to 2014, yeah, you were kicking ass. No one could take away from you. You said controversial things, and you basically whooped people's asses and you put people's in the seats. You did. You want to bring multiple millions of dollars to the UFC. So you did these things. I'm not going to take that away from you. What you did in judo is amazing. You were a gold medalist, Junior Olympics, and you're the first ever American to bring a bronze medal to America. And guess what? It was a controversial decision. And yes, you were a trendsetter. And yes, you were a pioneer. And yes, you did help inspire a bunch of women. But let's talk about the reality, Miss Ronda Rousey. You kept calling out Gyroid. You never fought her. And guess what? You wanted to do movies. You wanted to do late night shows. And guess what? You like being put on a pedestal. But guess what? When you finally, guess what, flew too close to the sun, and guess what, you got reality check against Holly Holm, and the only one that picked her was Kenny Florian, and you fought a southpaw, and guess what? You weren't able to be successful in that bout, and you lost, and then guess what? You couldn't handle reality. That's how it was. You took a year off, and guess what? If your brain was so messed up, you could have retired. You made enough money, okay? But you wanted to come back. And guess what? Amanda Nunes gave you another reality check. And then guess what? You got to go to professional wrestling because the UFC is the biggest mixed martial arts company and fight promotion in the world. To them, they made you. And then you turn your back on the fans when you came back and treat us like a bag of shit, like a rotten stepchild. And now you want to say you're the greatest fighter of all time? You're not, lady. You were a good fighter, but guess what? Don't get it twisted. You said you could beat up Mayweather. You said you could beat up TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. They will both knock you the fuck out. You never fought Garbrandt, and guess what? You had a terrible coach, and guess what? Your own downfall is yourself. Guess what? Take accountability, and guess what? Guess what, lady? You were a good fighter, but you were not the best. That's what I got to say. I'm out, boys.